that?
Remember in France when remember Montez? We beat him
Oh
in
yeah,
France.
Beat him in France.
and then not only that, but to actually qualify for the ladder match at WrestleMania that Montez Ford couldn't get in with his partner, we beat them right before that too.
But I think it's a situation when Montez is used to being second best. Like
Yeah,
when
right.
Bianca's your partner, you're kind of always going to be second best.
You think
right?
he's in the background?
100%.
For
But
sure.
you know, I know him and Dawkins are extremely talented. You know,
They
Street
are.
Profits are a very good tag team, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they'll come find us again soon. But we're ready for whatever they got.
They're a nice looking background, though.
We
I
are
would
the
say.
smoke.
We are the smoke.
We are the smoke.
They want the smoke. We are the smoke.
I was a little nervous to do this because I've been watching the YouTube clips of Australia. Both of you, I think. With
happened there?
For you, it was a morning show in Australia, and
Okay.
for you, I want to say it was you and some journalist of some sort. Tell me about this. You guys are doing a lot of press, but you're not opposed to getting in the press's face?
Well, it's not that. You know, there are a lot of disrespectful things that are asked or said or spoken about, and we just hope that you don't cross that line today. That's all.
I'll try
But I
my
think
best.
it's a situation with the media sometimes where, you know, we have a lot of really fun interviews. We have people who know what they're talking about. And when
That's
that
right.
happens, when people know wrestling, it's kind of fun to be on these shows. But then sometimes you go on certain shows, you know, especially like some morning shows where they're doing 4 hours a day, these random interviews. They don't know who you are really, and they're just asking questions off a teleprompter. And unfortunately, in that situation, I thought they were quite disrespectful, and I don't mind calling people on that. And it is what it is sometimes.
And it's okay that you have a long, 4-hour busy day with all these random people that you don't know. But when you don't know the greatest undefeated tag team champions of all time, A-Town Down Under, I don't even know if you live on Earth. You know what I mean?
We had Grayson on with us a few weeks back, and I got to ask you about something he said involving a possible tag team match down the road.
Oh, wow.
That he maybe said you'd be not opposed to, involving the Kelsey brothers.
Ooh.
Is that are you open to that possibility
All
if
right.
Trav
Well,
and his brother want to come in?
Well, I feel like this kind of, lays back down the road with Grayson and some Taylor Swifties.
Yeah.
There was a story there. There was some things going on,
Yeah.
and the Swifties came after A-Town Down Under. More specifically, I'd say Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
But if my boy needs my back to go against those guys, let's beat
But I
those
think
goofs up.
that this is what WWE is doing right now. You know, it's not just the biggest stars in the WWE; it's the biggest stars in entertainment. And right now, the Kelsey brothers, huge podcast. Yeah. Trav obviously just won the Super Bowl. Jason is a big star too. Like, I think it's inevitable for this to happen. And we saw Jason at WrestleMania. I got to chat to him personally. What we discussed will stay between us.
That's right.
Okay. You're not getting any scoops on this show. You got to pay
right.
me way more for those kind of scoops. But I think that would be a lot of fun. They're super athletes. We're super athletes. They're great on the football field, but in a ring, it's a different situation. I don't think they'd like to stand across from us.
That's right.
I want to get your opinions on something because one of the TV stations we're affiliated with is a CW affiliate. NXT, to my knowledge, in the fall is coming to CW. That kind of a big thing for WWE. I think both of you are CW or NXT at one point. Is that right?
I think this is huge news, especially right now. I spend a lot of time still down at the PC, and the talent coming through there right now is incredible. You got the champion there, you got Trick Williams, you got people like Roxanne Perez, who in 2 to 3 years are going to be the biggest stars in the company type of thing. So to have them now in the CW is very exciting because you see what NXT talent can do. I got drafted a year ago. I'm WWE Tag Team Champion. Yeah. Austin Theory came up only a few years ago. He's done so much. Money in the Bank, United States Championship. Tonight in Jacksonville, Carmelo Hayes, who just got drafted. Wrestling Randy Orton in the King of the Ring. Tiffany Stratton. There's so many names, and I think watching NXT is seeing the future of WWE before anyone else gets to see it. It's like an exciting thing. So for CW to get NXT, and I think CW is such a young, fun network, I think it's a perfect mix, and I'm excited to see what CW does with it.
What do you guys think about the media landscape as a whole? Raw, I believe, is going to Netflix in coming months. I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know where SmackDown is going to live eventually. Is this an exciting time for wrestling? Like, everything's moving around. We've seen it so structured on certain channels for so many years, and now things are happening.
I think that WWE now, it just has to be everywhere because everybody wants it. I mean, we have dawned ourselves into a brand new era. It's at an all-time high. I feel like there's nowhere we don't go that's not sold out. Mm-hmm. Everything is, just merch sells, us being on media everywhere, on news stations. The Netflix deal with Raw coming up, the CW with NXT, getting to see that brand new, fresh talent. Those are the stars of tomorrow. So it's just at an all-time high. I mean, WWE is so global. It's always been global, but now it's it's ramped up.
But I think that there's a reason for that, and it's because of the talent that is in WWE right now. I genuinely think it's one of the best rosters in the entire history of the WWE.
Yep.
If you just look at SmackDown, like on tonight's card, you've got Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. You know, you've got all these King of the Ring qualifiers with like Randy Orton, Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill. You've got A-Town Down Under, the best tag team in the business, but then you've got the Street Profits, you've got DIY. I think top to bottom right now, the WWE roster is better than it's ever been. And I think that's why all these things are coming from that, because the talent is so high.
Yep.
When we had you on last time, you called, I remembered, Logan Paul your, quote, friend.
He's a good mate of ours, yeah,
It's our
legitimately.
boy.
We're
We're going to hang
close
out with him
Logan.
today.
Yeah, Logan's a good
You know?
dude, and
What's he done for WWE to do that crossover into wrestling?
he's brought new eyes onto the product. People who I don't think would ever like watch wrestling or take it seriously are now taking it seriously. And now you see so many other like influencers coming to the shows. I think you saw like Drewski was at WrestleMania, and there's that great viral clip of him watching part of the ladder match, and he's like, that was real. Oh, like, and I think he just opened the door for people to pay attention. And then they opened the door and they're like, wow, this is actually really, really good. And now you're seeing more people getting involved, more people watching. I think Logan has done a lot for WWE.
Has Cody been a good champion?
Cody's been a good champion. We can say that. But
Yeah.
I think that good champion eventually, his road might lead right to A-Town Down Under.
Really?
You know,
And
He's on our-
you
he's
won't
on-
back down from that.
He's on
Oh,
our
he
show.
won't. Of course
you
he
know?
won't,
And the
you
thing
know?
I think Cody's a great example of what a champion should be, and someone that I think we model ourselves after in a way. I hate saying it, but it's true. You know, Cody has the hardest schedule of anyone on the roster. He doesn't have to do that. He does all these appearances. He does every interview. He goes out of his way. You know, he does all this weird stuff with the fans where he's signing autographs, taking photos.
You're not going to
I
do
think
that?
that's super cringe. I think that's like, oh, come on, please be a fan of me. We're not going to do that. But everything else he does, he sets the example of what a WWE champion should be like. And I think we're following that. But there's going to be a situation where he's on our show, and I think he's going to find out real quick that he don't want to mess with both of us.
It's going to be a real American
Because
night.
Cody doesn't have no friends on SmackDown.
Nah,
He left them all on Raw.
he doesn't.
CM Punk, has his return to WWE been a good thing for the company, would you say?
CM Punk, I mean, he's been making an impact. I mean, I know he's been making Drew McIntyre's life a living hell. Drew McIntyre, he's been on fire, but it seems CM Punk's kind of getting to him, you know?
Yeah.
But CM Punk definitely makes waves, man, you know? And that's such a huge name, especially when I think about growing up and watching wrestling. You know, I used to watch CM Punk, and he was very controversial, and even now.
But that's
you know?
good. I think we need that.
Yeah,
I want to
absolutely.
talk to you about your two respective timelines. How long since you were on NXT?
So I started in 2019 with
When
NXT.
were you on NXT?
So I started in 2021 and left last year.
When we historically saw NXT guys come out over the years, it took many years.
Mm-hmm.
Why did your trajectory go faster?
I think there's two reasons. I think we are undeniable talent. And I think in NXT, when there's undeniable talent, you move through pretty quickly. We were very good in every aspect. We could wrestle, we could talk on the mic. We had everything that was needed for the main roster. But now I think as well, NXT has changed to a system where you don't have 7 years. They know within 6 to 12 months whether you're going to be someone that they can use on TV. And I think the roster down there is starting to realise that. They're starting to realise like, wow, I don't have time to mess around. I have to be ready for TV in 6 months, and I have to be ready for like a prime position on TV in like 12 to 18. And I think that's a good way to do it. You know, I think it's similar with the NFL, the NBA. You know if you have a prospect very quickly. You know, you don't see NBA prospects sitting on a team on the bench for 7 years not playing. Like, you know straight away if someone's good or if someone's not. And I think it's producing the best talent possible, and people are moving on very quickly. And I think we were great examples of that, and I think there's a lot of great examples of that happening right now with like Melo and Tiffany, who they come up from NXT and they're ready to go on the main roster.
One of the things that's been discussed, a wrestling headline the last few weeks, and I don't know if this will happen or not, involves what I call pay-per-views, but you guys call premium live events, moving possibly from Saturdays to Sundays. If that happens, would that impact things on your guys' end, or, I mean, does Saturday or Sunday matter?
Honestly, I feel like me and this guy are never home. You know,
Really?
We're always busy, always working, whether it's media, whether it's TV, whether it's a live event.
How often are you on the road?
So we always typically, because we're on SmackDown, we leave on Thursdays. We do SmackDown TV Fridays. Then we usually drive to the live event Saturday. We have that show Saturday. Then we drive to the next one for Sunday, do the Sunday one, and then get home Monday. And then maybe there's some media during that week. Maybe there's not. Maybe you got some free time, and then you're back at it again. So it's just, just keeps going.
Next weekend is King and Queen
Yep,
of the Ring.
in
Is
Saudi.
that right?
Yep.
Are you guys on that card yet, or not at this point?
We'll be there.
We'll be
We're
there.
flying to Saudi, but we have SmackDown as well as the PLE there, so it gives an opportunity for all the SmackDown talent to get over these international shows.
What are those Saudi Arabia shows like? Because WWE's done a lot of them lately. That's
Right.
just been a kind of a new market
Yeah.
you guys have really hit.
I remember my first one. We did the huge Elimination Chamber PLE over there, and I remember getting thrown off the top of the chamber and just hearing
Dude, that was
the
so
crowd.
funny, dude.
It was not.
It was pretty
I could've
You were
broke my
thrown off
legs.
the top of the
I
chamber?
I was thrown off the top of the chamber, and I just
How the
heard-
hell do you recover from that?
I mean, I'm Austin Theory. You know, I mean, look at me.
Okay.
This is how you recover right here. Become an undefeated tag team champion.
Gotcha.
But, yeah, I just remember how chaotic it was out there and how just into it the fans were. And it's another level of energy. It's like when we went to France, you know, they sing the songs when we come out. It's like everywhere we go, everybody has their different kind of, you know, niche at what they do. And I feel like when we go to Saudi, man, just that energy, you can tell, like, they love wrestling. They want to see it. And they don't get it as much. So I think when we go there, it's like, it's a party, man. It really is.
You mentioned this Dwayne guy. There's been others like Cena over the years who have really transcended into mainstream movies, whatever.
Yeah.
Either of you interested in that down the road?
Well, I mean, I did help John Cena out a lot with his Hollywood career. You know, I mean, well, actually, it might have went down a little bit, you know, because he showed up on the Grammys naked. He became a mermaid in Barbie, you know, after he lost at WrestleMania to Austin Theory. So, but as for us, you know, going on to Hollywood and stuff, I mean, why wouldn't Hollywood want us? Look at us, you know. Nobody looks like this. Nobody works like this.
John Cena naked. What did the wrestling universe think of that when he pops up on?
Well,
the
I remember
award
we were at a live event and it was on one of the TVs, and
Yeah.
it's fun. One thing about John, like, obviously we both personally don't like him,
Yeah.
but that's a personal issue. But like
Is
professionally,
what
like, he's not afraid to make himself look silly. He's happy to be the butt of the joke, and I think that's a valuable position to be in. And there's a reason why he's in so many things in Hollywood. And just because we don't like him personally doesn't mean we can't respect what he does
No,
professionally in
that's
Hollywood.
true. Yeah.
I got to ask you the hard question. I've been saving it, but I got to ask because of the city you're in.
Is it going to be a hard question?
Okay, well, I hope not. Last time you were on, you told me finally we were bringing real wrestling back to Jacksonville.
I think I said good wrestling.
Good wrestling back
Yeah.
to Jacksonville.
That's
We
right.
had a guy come on the show who wrestles in Jacksonville a lot. He responded.
Yeah.
He has a championship. And I think I'm paraphrasing. He said something along the lines, "Oh, I remember Grayson Waller when he was watching me when I was wrestling and he was in the stands."
Yeah.
And he brought that up and he said that they have the best wrestling in the world and in Jacksonville. I got to ask your response because I've got you here.
Well, you know, I think at the end of the day, you know, we are the WWE Tag Team Champions, which means we are the best tag team in the world today. That's undeniable. Like, we have definitive proof right here that we're the best tag team in the world. And WWE right now is the premier brand. We're very proud to be part of WWE, and we think we're at the forefront of what WWE is doing right now. As Austin said earlier, this is a new era. And the new era has both the fantastic stars from the past, guys like Randy Orton, who are doing big things, but then it also has the new generation who are pushing to take those positions. And I say take those positions, and I mean it. Like, we look
Yep.
at Randy and we want what he has. And we don't mean any disrespect by that, but we know that you have to take these positions. So right now we're very proud to be the WWE Tag Team Champions and working for the best company in the world.
I saw Randy kind of getting your guys' faces on one of the shows a few weeks back. Talk to me about your interactions with Randy now that he's back from the injury and everything.
Well, I think in that moment, you know, it was really funny to see our boy Logan Paul, you know, knock Randy out in that Elimination Chamber match.
So good.
It was so funny. Me and him, we just couldn't stop replaying it and watching it, and it just so happened that Randy Orton was standing behind us. But, you know, we were on our way to become tag team champions, and we already knew that. We could already see that. So, you know, we were looking at Randy like, what's up, man?
Dude,
you want to do this?
He's enormous.
He is enormous, but if we're standing next to each other, me and you, we'll be all right.
Yeah, if we're on each other's shoulders, we're good to go.
We're all right.
So long term, a lot of tag champions eventually lose the titles.
Right.
Will that happen? I mean, kind of how do you envision this going?
Well, I think how me and Grayson Waller lose these is we're going to have a nice, probably golden case in our houses, and we're going to place the titles in there, and we're going to go, all right, that's it. We're done with it.
And I haven't asked. Talk to me
that's
about
how we lose
A-Town Down Under, the name of the team, and how the team name was.
So A-Town from Atlanta down under Australia.
Okay.
And we put it together.
That's right.
I know it's hard. Like it was intricate. It took us many sleepless nights putting it together,
right.
but
A
we
lot
got
of
there.
papers,
We got
just
there.
trying to take notes, figure it out.
Can people buy your merch if they want to?
Of course they can. You know, you just search our names up in www.shop.com. There it is.
So, one more time before we go, SmackDown tonight. What are fans going to get when they show up at the show?
There's some
tonight?
big things happening tonight.
There's a lot of huge things. I mean, like he said, you have Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the WWE champion, the man that's all over the world, crazy schedule, but makes it happen. And he's going to have a contract signing tonight with Logan Paul, our boy. And
We better watch
when you look
that.
at Logan Paul, I mean, this guy's a megastar.
Yeah, and then you
He
got the
is,
King
it
and the
just
Queen of
is.
the Ring qualifiers.
And those
That's
matches
pretty
are
huge.
huge. Winning King or, Queen of the Ring changes your career, And obviously that will be decided over there in Saudi Arabia. But tonight, this is really what shows you who's going to be able to have that opportunity to possibly be the King of the Ring, be the Queen of the Ring.
And we're going to be there too.
And this is
You
the
know?
best part.
The
I was
two-
saving the best for last.
The two biggest superstars in Jacksonville
That's
wrestling
right.
history.
That's right.
Appearing tonight.
That's right.
Can't tell you what. You never know what we'll be doing. We'll kind of decide when we get there what we want to do. But we're
Yeah.
going to be there tonight too. And you can.
That's right.
Tickets are like $20. That's ridiculous.
$20.
That's wild.
Two $10
Still available.
bills. That's $4 or $5 bills. It's easy. And you get that opportunity to be blessed by the greatest undefeated tag team champions of all time.
Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, A-Town Down Under. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you. So how about that A-Town Down Under coming in, giving me a little not fun part of an interview, going off on me when I brought up The Rock, a bit of a sore subject for Austin Theory, because if you remember Austin Theory, when Dwayne Johnson came back to wrestling in Denver, it was this huge thing, and he goes in and interrupts Austin Theory and essentially lays a smackdown, so to speak. Austin Theory remembers it differently maybe than the rest of the crew, but they were so good. They're so good at being bad and making fans boo them, and they don't care. One thing that I really did want to bring up that we talked about now, we're talking about SmackDown, which the people are going in right now. We had a bit of a controversy on the show in the last few weeks with Grayson Waller, who had on a few weeks back. He said some controversial things about we're bringing good wrestling back to Jacksonville. That was a not so subtle dig at AEW, which is based right across the parking lot here in Jacksonville. So I had their champion Swerve Strickland on. He responded. That's why I asked Grayson about this. You might want to go look at those back-to-back episodes in the archives right now. Some very intriguing WWE AEW stuff that happened here on Going Ringside. So that was a lot of fun. But Waller and Theory are not the only folks we had on. In the last few weeks, more WWE stars have come on the show. Two specifically who I want to bring in right now. That would be Montez Ford, who I spoke with via remote on Zoom. And I did a phone interview with Naomi, and we talked to her as well. Both good things. So I want to go back and play them right now. Montez Ford, of course, married to Bianca Belair. Very busy time with Street Profits. And, of course, Naomi, one of the top females in the world right now, wrestling alongside Jade Cargill and Bianca. So a lot of fun there. So let's get to it. Here's my interviews with Montez Ford and Naomi. Well, we're excited to be joined right now by WWE superstar Montez Ford. Montez, thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Thanks for coming on the show. So happy to have you here. First off, let's not bury the lead. You know, you guys are coming back to our neck of the woods down in Jacksonville for SmackDown on May 17th. SmackDown is really one of the hottest shows on TV right now.
Yes, absolutely. Still currently running on Fox. And, it's crazy because Jacksonville is kind of like home for a lot of us. Like a lot of us started in developmental and NXT right down there in the Orlando area. So Jacksonville has always been like one of the coconut loops, like homes for us. So like, it's always good to come back to Jacksonville. Great wrestling city. So we're very, very excited for it too. And then it's an exciting time of the year too, because this is right around the time that the draft should be finished happening. So you might see some new faces from either NXT, Raw, or SmackDown.
Wait, whoa. If the draft is happening, will you say on SmackDown? Any idea yet?
I have no idea. His draft is like a draft pool, It's just everything's so random. So the exciting time about the Jacksonville show is that it's actually, like I said, 2.5 weeks post the actual draft. So you might see some NXT hopefuls. You might see some individuals that were on Raw come to SmackDown. You may see some individuals like myself that's on SmackDown remain there. Or, like I said, it's a great time of the year, very exciting. And the show should be like I said, always, Jacksonville's home for us, so we always put on a good show.
Well, I want to talk a little about what you've been doing. You have been a tag team champ. Now you're in faction with Bobby Lashley and B-Fab. Is it time for you for a singles run? Any thoughts on that?
It's so crazy. I get asked that all the time, and I feel like for myself and Dawkins, we have so much that, we're still trying to obtain as a tag team. And but I will say, like, if that opportunity happens, and like we just spoke of when it comes to the draft, myself could be drafted to one show, he could be drafted to one show. So we both always talk about if the opportunity presents itself, like we're going. So, but as of right now, we're still together and we're trying to win. We just won our number one contendership last week for
I gotta ask you
tag
about
team
that.
championship. So the focus at hand is right there. So if I'm worried about, being solo at the point, it might knock the focus off getting those tag team championships back. It's been like 3 years. So
we just had one of the guys involved in that, Grayson Waller, on the show, telling me that he thinks They Train Down Under is going to roll over all the teams in WWE. Your response to that?
It's very good to see the confidence in our young youth still be at an all-time high. It's so good to see that. But the sad part is, in life, there are some delusional statements, and that is one of them. They can probably run through those other tag teams, but they can't run through the Triple Crown that always puts it down Street Profits. We evolve NXT, Raw, and SmackDown tag team championships. We're not a newly formed tag team. We've been doing this for 8+ years, so we're not just any tag team. So that statement, while as confident as it may sound, is very delusional, sir. So
good. I'm glad you could clarify that for me. I want to talk to you. You're not just known for in-ring work, obviously. Many fans know you for a totally different reason. That would be loving WWE with your wife.
Yes.
What has that been like to shoot that experience of just putting your kind of life out there for the world to consume?
It's been like pretty much a whole project that like a vacation project, because I didn't never feel like I was working. Anytime I'm working beside my wife, it's the best thing ever. And so anytime we have an opportunity to have more time with each other, we're going to take advantage of it. So, but we worked, it was a time when we were shooting pretty much like, it was a time period in like 6 months in which we would be doing both Raw and SmackDown and the live events. And then once we would get home, we would be filming all the way up as it was time to leave again. So it was like 6 months straight of just nonstop, no days off, going from WWE and appearances to actually filming a show. So it's been amazing. It's been wild. Different experiences as well, but a good one as well, because we had so much fun shooting that and just showing the world a different side of us, outside of the wrestling ring. Because the WWE universe only sees us, when we're in the WWE ring or when we're doing a live show or an appearance, but it was good to show them everything that leads up to these big moments, and like how we get our gear together and how we manage to try to make time with each other in such a busy, hectic schedule. So I was glad we was able to show the world that.
There is a clip from the show, and everyone was saying you got to ask him about it, that has gone a little viral and involving Bianca's hair. What was that like? Can you tell me the kind of what the fallout has been of that?
Nah, it's just another one of those instances in which like she does so many things that like she can just make and craft. And I think that was just another one of those situations where I was just like, wow, this is this another thing that you have invented and made value to yourself? She just makes so many different things that, she can function and like deal with, and very, very convenient for her. Very, very smart. So it was just kind of like me being taken aback again of something else she created. So, that's just her though.
And I want to get back to you in 1 second, but one quick question. How's she doing? She's got a lot going on her own side with Jade, Naomi, and all this drama that they, have to face. How's she doing right now?
Oh, man, she's doing fantastic. This is like a great experience for her. She's got two other individuals, from the same background, same cultures, and them like kind of like leading the way and like, being at the forefront and, showing a different side to the WWE universe and their presentation and everything. And it seems like she's always having fun, but I feel like now she's really, really having, a good time to even share her like wealth and knowledge to, them as well. So it's been great to see. And like, I'm pretty sure they're going to go very, very far as she has been doing so far. So it's exciting to watch.
On your end, you're with Bobby Lashley, B-Fab, you were with Angelo Dawkins so long. Talk to me about that transition that you went through.
It's amazing. Like you said, me and Doc's been a tag team ever since like late 2016. So this is actually entering our 8th year being with the Street Profits. Like this is the one thing I've done the entire time I've been in the WWE. So being transitioned to be with someone like Bobby, I think is so cool. And it's like full circle for me because like when I was watching WWE coming up, and it's crazy because Bobby's going to probably kill me for making it seem like he's old. But when I was watching WWE coming up in middle school and high school, I mean, I was watching Bobby Lashley. I was watching his matches with John Cena and, him competing for the United States Championship at the time. And then seeing like how we had similar backgrounds from him coming to like the service and then doing WWE. So he was always someone I watched, idolized, and like tried to take after. So like now, for us being now associated and part of that, it's like a full circle for me because it's like, man, like, did the same things, worked hard, and like now with someone I watched and idolized growing up, and like they're actually leading me to the success that they've had. And like overjoyed, I can't wait to see the success that we have. And he's very, very smart. And I was just in the gym with him this weekend and still recovering. So, because I don't understand how you can be, 50 years old and still younger and look better and stronger than everybody else. So whatever fountain of youth he's drinking from, I'm eventually have to crack the code and figure out where it is. But yes.
I want to get your perspective on an industry question for you. The success of African-American wrestlers, like literally this moment in just the wrestling universe. You, Trick Williams is NXT champion. We've seen Willow Nightingale, Swerve, Moose, a lot of others all across the spectrum. What do you think this means right now for the industry?
I think it's amazing because like, in any aspect, any type of representation matters. So like anytime you see like, and I'm living proof of that, I just spoke of how like, seeing Bobby Lashley do the things when I was growing up and Booker T and how it not only just made me love professional wrestling even more, but it made me even more motivated to know like, hey, like, somebody like me is doing this at this high level, I can do the same thing. So I'm walking and living proof that, it all matters. And it's a good time in the industry and it's a good time to show like, what we can do, our backgrounds, and they're all different. They all have their own different stories. I don't think that they share is the common hue, but besides that, they all have different stories, and very excited to let and see how everyone tells those different stories.
What's the mood right now post-Mania? Right before Mania, Rock said something. He said, wrestling is cool again. What are your thoughts on that statement? I mean, for the last months, it's just been the talk of everywhere, all entertainment, sports, media. What do you think? What are your thoughts on where WWE's at right now?
And I was talking to my beautiful wife about this last night. I was like, I feel like I'm watching it as a kid again. When I was watching it in the early 90s to the 2000s, the Attitude Era and everything now, like I feel like we're actually in that era as well, in which everyone's having fun. And I think that's the main thing. Everyone's having so much fun and there's so much passion into the stories that everyone is trying to tell, like in all aspects, whether it be Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, like there's so much passion, there's so much hunger, and like everyone's just trying to have the most fun. We have like this blessed fortune ability to provide an escape to the world and to the WWE universe. And like the fact that we're able to do it, on these 3 different shows, I think that's why it is the way it is now. So it's a lot of hunger and a lot of passion. And like everyone's just trying to have fun and the same amount of fun we had growing up watching it.
Almost every day you tweet out, God is good. Talk to me about the importance of religion in your life and kind of how that, impacts your crazy schedule.
Yeah, so like when I was even from younger all the way up to now at adolescence, I was always, in the church, sung in the church, in the church choir, were involved in all the church programs, and like that was just the foundation that my parents always kept me in, and it always kept me grounded as well too, because with this, like you said, this crazy schedule and this life and everything, like you learn to still be humble and be appreciative to know like not only just your foundations, but where it all comes from. And like doing everything's in divine order. And like, by doing these things, like these things come back to you and all the blessings that it does do, and just walking in like, I believe in like God's eye, his mission and everything else, treating everyone you want to be treated. And I think that's the foundation that always been distilled within me, like since I was a child, and I tweet God is good every day, is because whatever I didn't get a chance to do yesterday, I have a chance to do better today. And I always thank God. That's my way of thanking him, of like, hey, thank you for giving me another opportunity to get it right with whether it was conversation, a wrestling match, whatever it was. I have a chance today to not only get it right and make it right, but actually be better than yesterday.
Want to get your opinion on what celebrities like 10, 15 years ago for you and your wife. Celebrity at this level certainly wasn't a thing. What's it like? I mean, has it changed you? Have you had to keep grounded? Do you pinch yourself, thinking this is really happening?
I think like what me and my wife have an issue with the most is just taking it all in sometimes, like just actually sitting back and just like, just counting the blessings at times. Like we're such perfectionists. So like anytime an event or accolade or a plateau we reach, we're thinking about the next plateau and how we can get better. But I think like that's one of the things that we try to do the most too, is just sit back and take in and just realize all the blessings that we're having and how, fortunate it is. And I don't think it ever gets to a point of where, it's us higher or above anyone else. I think it's just always like, wow, this is really happening. Because even when we first got together, the mission was never let's get a reality TV show. Let's win an ESPY. Let's do all these things that's happening. It was always like, we just wanted to be together. So everything that's happening now is like a plus and it's a blessing. So like we never take that for granted, because like we both understand like, tomorrow this could be all over. But even if it is, like we're happy with everything that's happened to this point, because like I said from the start, it was never the plan. So very, very blessed and fortunate for that position.
Well, Montez Ford, May 17th, SmackDown in Jacksonville. Before we go, why should fans go? What are they going to get?
Come on, and you know why fans should go. It is the #1 live event in the world. Okay, the greatest show in the world. And we're not talking about Ringling Brothers, Barlin Bailey. We are talking about the WWE superstars. You're going to get a chance to see freshly new superstars, maybe the same superstars you see all the time, from WWE, from Cody Rhodes, the new WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion, to the EST of the WWE, including myself, along with Almighty Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. It's the greatest show in the world. You can't miss it. And what better way to kick off the summer than with your favorite WWE superstars in Jacksonville, Florida?
Well, we are here with WWE superstar Naomi. Naomi, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Naomi, you've gone through an incredible career transformation in the last few months. The big return to WWE. What has that been like for you?
Oh man, it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's been a great journey, and I'm extremely excited and happy to be back and just working my way back to the top.
You were doing so much. What went into your decision to return to WWE? Can you walk me through that decision?
WWE is home, It was never a doubt about returning. It was just a matter of when, and me wanting to prove some things and do some things that I needed to do for myself, and I did that. I accomplished that, and it was just time. I missed it so much, and WWE is always family.
And you came in, I believe, at Royal Rumble. Is that right? Was that when you?
Yes, sir.
What was that like? I mean, you were in it a long, long time, if I remember.
Yeah, like it was. yeah, one of the longest times being in the Rumble, and it just felt really good to return and to be received by that live audience. And it's scary because I have been gone for almost 2 years, so you're not sure if how you're going to be received. You're going to get cheered or booed, especially with the way that I left. So it was very nerve-wracking, but it felt really good to receive all that positive energy and get the chant of welcome back. And I've been on a roll ever since. So one of the greatest nights ever.
I've been wondering about those long-term people in Rumbles. I mean, we've seen it with Ric Flair, Rey Mysterio, Shawn Michaels. A lot of the people have done it. You're now one of the greats who has done it for so long. Is that physically exhausting to be in that long?
It really is.
Really?
It really is, and there's no real way to really prepare because you don't know who's coming out. There's so much incredibly fit and new talent now. So and it was something.
And you mentioned
a challenge, but I got through it, and it was an incredible night.
You mentioned fit new talent, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe one of the new talents that you saw in that Rumble was Jade Cargill. Can you talk to me about her addition and any thoughts there? Because I'm sure that you probably will come across her again here in coming weeks.
Oh yeah, I am a big supporter of Jade. I actually linked up with Jade before she came to WWE and just fell in love with her. I think she's super talented. She's an incredible athlete, and I think she is going to be a huge star and accomplish great things here in the WWE. And I'm just excited to watch her journey. We'll see where she and I fall in at together, but I hope it's definitely with her and not against her, because she is one strong specimen.
She was physically strong. You could feel that in the Rumble.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
It is the busy season for you right now. We are going into maybe the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Are you, packed? Is your schedule nonstop? And what's going for you in the Royal Rumble? WrestleMania. I know you've been kind of dealing with damage control a little. Where are you at right now going into Mania?
Exactly. You know what? It's been crazy since I've returned, because I literally have not stopped. And I kind of got myself into some mess with damage control and trying to protect and look out for Bailey. And her and Bianca are going through it in our interviews because of things that have happened over the last 2 years, which I wasn't really familiar with. So now I kind of got myself in a pickle. And it's just been a battle each week trying to take on damage control, because they're picking us off one by one. So we need to find a solution to that, to take on those girls, because they're trouble.
What's this like? You've been out of it 2 years, and then all of a sudden you're thrown in the middle of this drama, and everyone else seems to, have been in the middle of it all this time. Has that been weird for you to be in the middle of all this?
Very weird. And I'm finding out a little bit more, week by week of all this stuff that's been happening and going on. But I'm in it now, so there's only one thing to do, and that's to finish it.
And as far as post-Mania, do you have any idea what's coming? Because we're going to see you in Jacksonville at a Smackdown here in May that we're looking forward to. Do you have any idea what the year brings for you post-WrestleMania yet, or is it kind of a wait and see at this point?
Yeah, it's a wait and see. I wish I knew, but it's week by week. The card is always subject to change, and there's you never know what's gonna happen in the world of WWE.
Well, and
we'll see where I am by then.
Yeah, in the world of WWE,
control, and can get back into that title picture somehow.
Absolutely. Do you want to be in the title picture?
Absolutely. But the division and locker room has changed so much since I've returned. So I kind of, in a weird way, feel like I don't feel like I'm starting over, but I do. You know what I mean?
What do you mean it's changed? Talk to me about that change in the locker room that you've seen.
There's a lot of new talent from NXT that's there now. A lot of the women that I was there with, the time that I left, when I was there. They aren't there anymore. A lot of my, girls that I've been with for the last 10 years. So we just seeing like a lot of fresh faces, a lot of new tag teams. And I'm just getting to know everybody and feel everybody out and see where I stand. So for me, it's kind of like starting over. There's just so much that happened in the 2 years,
And as far as, going for title goes, do you think the women could use a mid-card title? Do you think that's needed?
I'm always pushing for more TV time, more talent for us, more titles. Absolutely.
You say more TV time. That's interesting. That brings me to something from several years ago, back during the Divas era. I think it was WrestleMania 29. The men go overtime. I believe you might have been cut at the time. Does that ring a bell to you?
Yep, WrestleMania 29. Talk
to me about that dynamic. What happened there?
And I were just recently talking about that this week. That us experiencing that together and just how crazy and wild that was that happened for us to still be here and, fighting and pushing forward now. So I think also me coming from that Divas era, from my experience and my perspective, and seeing all the work from the women, how hard we fought for things, and just seeing where we are now, I know that it all wasn't in vain and it's working. And I just hope we all continue to fight and show why our division and why the women on the show are so important and continue to push and try to steal the show every night.
And talk to me about your evolution. I mean, you started with Cameron as a tag team. Now you're a top star in the company. I mean, what's that evolution been like for you?
It's been a very, very good journey for me. A lot of ups and downs, very hard at sometimes. I came in as a valet, but I always knew that I wanted more. I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to be respected in this business, and I wanted to be known as one of the most memorable stars in women in my era, and I feel like I'm still working towards that.
And I do want to ask about Jay. I mean, when we talk WWE, all the talk now is Bloodline. What's that like for him? He's in the middle of a lot of drama right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of family drama. Honestly, I hate it. It's family. That's my sweet brother-in-law. So I hope one day that the boys can get it together. But it's definitely breaking up the family. Jimmy and Jay's drama. So
I mean,
hopefully,
after
Mania, they can hash it out and squash this beef and get back together. That's what I hope. But who knows? We'll see.
And you say the beef, that's got to make family life hard, I assume.
Yeah, the barbecues are not the same.
I would imagine. How would you say WWE is different today than it was when you left? What are some changes? I mean, the company's gone through a big change. The merger with TKO. I mean, is it the same place? Does it still feel like home, or would you say it's a little different?
It still feels like home. I think the great thing about WWE is that it just keeps evolving. It keeps growing. It keeps getting better, and it adapts to the times. And I just think that's where we are now. But for me, it's definitely it just gets better.
And I always wonder how wrestlers are physically doing. You've been doing it so many years now. How's your body? How are injuries? How do you do day to day?
I think the key is just staying in shape, and staying physical and active. Injuries are injuries. They're gonna happen just because of what we do is not not normal, not natural. It's not normal for our bodies to get banged up every day, but I definitely think staying in tip-top shape helps. But there's just certain things that, every time you step in there that, something could happen because it's a risk every time you go in there.
And I was watching some.
Trained. I think the NXT Performance Center is amazing, especially for the new talent. I just think the protocols, the doctors we have, is we're definitely have all the resources we need to stay at our best, you know.
And I was wondering, because I was watching some stuff in the archives, and correct me if I'm wrong, were you one of the Funkadelics? Is that right?
Funkadactyls. Yeah.
Funkadactyls, that's right, I'm sorry. What was that like when you came in as a Funkadactyl? I mean, that was just a totally different, you know, place that you were at that point. To get from there and then to transfer to, you know, main eventing. I mean, how did that happen? Was that hard to get out of that, you know, being in that niche as a kind of a dancer at that point?
It was, but at the same time, that was such a fun time, such a special time, and I always, you know, those years are so precious to me. I still have a great relationship with Brodus and Cameron, and it was just a unique time. You don't realize how fast the time goes by, but oh man, I cherish those memories so much, and I learned so much, and I was taught so much being with those guys, and kind of being introduced to the main roster as a dancer and as a ballet, and it kind of gave me that fire in me to want to wrestle and want to do more.
Well, Naomi, we look
to do that, you know, and figure it out.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in Jacksonville in May for SmackDown. Thank you so much for joining us today. So we're so excited to be joined by Montez Ford and Naomi on the show here. Great guests. A lot of fun, a little nicer to me than what A-Town Down Under was. But one thing we want to talk about before we go and before SmackDown starts in just a bit is the woman who won the 4 ringside seats to SmackDown here in our ticket giveaway we advertised on News for Jacks here in Jacksonville for several weeks. She came on the show to talk about winning those, taking her kids to the front row of SmackDown. Let's go to it.
Well, we're joined by the winner of our SmackDown ticket giveaway, Jasmine Smith. Jasmine, thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Well, tell me all about it. So, if I understand right, what I've heard is your kids are the wrestling fans. Is that right?
Me and my son.
You and your son. So, why did you decide to enter the contest for the ringside tickets?
I was talking to him about it and decided we were gonna go. And me personally, I kind of wanted to sit as close as possible. And I seen on the news where you had the contest. So I was like, okay, I'm an insider. Let me go ahead and test my luck. Went ahead and fill out the form. I honestly didn't think that I was going to win. So when I did find out that I was the winner, I was very excited.
You were probably a little shocked to get the call, I'm assuming. Probably wondering, what's this phone call? I
really was.
Yeah. So is your son excited? Is he excited to go sit ringside for this?
He is very excited. He has let me know that we have to make posters and everything for Friday.
Okay. Now are there wrestlers he likes? Anyone that you know of that he's a fan of?
At the moment he is a huge Cody Rhodes fan.
Yeah.
So that is his favorite at the moment.
Yeah, so is this going to be kind of unique for you guys sitting ringside? That's probably something not a lot of people have done before.
It is very unique. Like I said, when I filled out the form, it was wishful thinking, didn't think that I was going to win. So very excited. And when I told him, he was excited also. He was jumping up and down. So he's been ready to go since I gave him the news that we got the tickets.
Got it. So you'll be like right up there on the action. Is it a little nerve-wracking? They're literally going to be fighting, feet from you.
No, it might be nerve-wracking for him, but I'm excited for it.
And how old is he?
He's 8.
He's 8, yeah. So he's perfect age for this. This is kind of exciting. So is he bringing friends? You guys got 4 tickets. Are you able to use all 4?
So my daughter did just inform me that she wants to go. So at the moment, we only have 1 ticket. left. So I'm just trying to find someone for that fourth ticket.
Gotcha. What do you think your son's going to be like? Well, tell me about your daughter. Do you think she'll care? Is she like a lot of girls in my life, like my daughter and my wife would just go and just smile and, kind of be excited for the action, but are not wrestling fans?
She let it be known that the only reason why she did want to go because they were ringside, and because, we're right there in front of the action. So she's excited just to be that close, but she's not a real wrestling fan, but she said she didn't have anything else to do Friday night, so she might as well go.
If your son sees Cody Rhodes walk out, is he going to have a bit of a reaction to that, you think?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, Jasmine, congratulations, and thanks so much for joining us on the show today. So glad you guys were able to win. I hope you guys have a good time at the show.
Thank you.
So congratulations to her. Glad we could make her kids excited for those ringside seats in there right now. SmackDown's about to start in just a few minutes. But before we go, I want to tell you a few things about what we have coming up. Big name coming up in the next, maybe as soon as next week. Former SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long will be joining us on the show. We're also getting ready for River City Wrestling Con. Could be getting some big names like Trish Stratus, Booker T, the Hardy Brothers, maybe Sting. I'm working on trying to get as much as I can for you in coming weeks on Going Ringside. So the biggest interviews in the wrestling world on the planet are right here on Going Ringside as we continue to grow. Please continue to share the show with family and friends, any fans you may know. So glad you could be with us. I'll let you change it over to SmackDown because I know a lot of you probably want to watch it as it goes live. So thank you for joining us on the special live edition of Going Ringside. As always, we're usually every Wednesday. We did an exception this week to be out here live on a Friday night. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.
This has been Going Ringside with The Local Station, brought to you every Wednesday on your favorite podcast player, on News4Jax Plus, as well as the News4Jax YouTube channel.